Hi, all. This is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where I last came to you a week ago, and continue to share my optimism with you. To a large part, it hasn't um, been a phenomenal week, but it's been an okay week, one where I continue to be optimistic in the future, where there's positives to be taken away from that week. So we're going to look at a chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Averages together. We're going to look at some biotechnology companies that have captured my imagination. Ameren, which had a big public offer at $19 a share, which was when it was trading at about 22, 23. A Casti, which has had a phenomenal move from 80 cents or so when I got in to $1.71 on Friday. Now, Casti and Ameren have something in common. They're both fish oil. They both have fish oil drugs. So that's a lot in common. Only Ameren is way ahead in terms of approvals and so on, and has had some phenomenal trial results to build on. The investors' spirits were dampened by the offering way below the selling price at the time, but it was a huge raise of capital, and I think a smart move by management. I'll talk more about that when I look at the chart with you. Casti, not quite sure the fundamentals why it's moved up, but one of the fundamental reasons why it moved up is because Dr. J cashed in at $1.35 and $1.37, something like that. He sold half at $1.35. A few days later, the other half at $1.37. So that is, and I did tweet out that please do not take that to mean I think that it's not going to continue to move up, because I had no doubt that it would. I was looking to raise capital and wanted to sell something I had a nice gain on. I probably should have sold something I had a nice loss on. In any event, some of my friends on Twitter replied that I should get back in. I'm making a mistake. And you guys were right. It's definitely a mistake. The proof is in the pudding. Moved up another, 30% or so. That's certainly nothing to sneeze at, that I could have cashed in on. In any event, shouldas, wouldas, and couldas. Ameren, I've been tweeting out all week that it doesn't bother me that they made the offering. I thought management made a smart move. Yesterday or whenever it was, George Budwell from TheStreet.com gave some positive spin as well to this offering. So you can read that Street.com article, but I'll talk a little bit about what he had to say as well. I also charted CVM, which I think it has done pulling back from. It pulled back from $9 where it had tremendous resistance, pulled all the way back to 580. Is now trading in the low to mid sixes. We'll look at the chart of that and talk about the prospects there. We will not talk about Jeremy Lin and the prospects for the Knickerbockers. Jeremy Lin is no longer a Knickerbocker, and considering Kevin Durant and Kyrie are going to the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, then doesn't exactly encourage me as a Knicks fan, but I'm also a Brooklyn fan. I told you I root for all home teams. And being from Brooklyn, I see no reason why not to root for the Brooklyn Nets to make the playoffs and do well next year with Kyrie, with or without Durant, because I doubt that he'll be ready. Getting off topic, I guess, at this point, but why talk basketball in the middle of the baseball season? Just one comment about baseball. I never seen a batter snap his bat over his knee after striking out. Peter Alonso did so in the early innings. At the time, the Mets were winning 2-1. I don't know what the score is now. It's probably the late innings, and I had to turn it off. Okay, Bitcoin had a crazy couple of weeks. Came down from 16,000, was it? I had some big number, to 9,000. I mean, it's crazy. The movements are crazy. This is, go to the pass line. JD from Dallas, are you still in Bitcoin? Probably. All right. What else? Yeah, we have a family here that tends to congregate around this vlog once a week. I've been doing it lately. I should really do it more. I'm looking at my phone now to see how many are commenting. Let's see if I got any comments. Jigglypuff, how you doing, my man? Kamal, how you doing? I see you guys are getting reacquainted. All right, let me kill the volume. Otherwise, we're going to get an echo. With a lag. Okay, CVM Jigglypuff still thinks it's trash. You're entitled to your opinion, Jigglypuff. It'll either be trash with 0, or it will be a phenomenal winner, $100 a share. But, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, and there are many that share your opinion. It's a heavily shorted stock. I think you wound up making a few bucks on it when you went in and out of it. Kamal, hi, good to see you too, Kamal. All right, I'm going to check the comments later on, so if you want to write comments and you caught me live, that's fine. You can feel free to comment. If you don't want to write comments, don't write comments. This is the time that I say I'm going to go to the video charts, but I didn't finish telling you what else I'm going to chart. So I'm going to also chart, besides Bitcoin, a couple of cannabis stocks. CGC, Canopy Growth, which had a disastrous few weeks, and curlf, which has rebounded off a similar disastrous few weeks. So we'll look at both of those. I believe curlf is becoming a powerhouse. All right, so let's get to the video charts. As always, do your due diligence. My opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. Occasionally, I do have some great ideas, but to be honest, lately I haven't. I've had some pretty lousy ideas, like selling ACST. Okay, and also my swing trade of OCUL has cost me money on papers so far. All right, let me share the screen. Hopefully this works. Uh-oh. I don't see it working. That's not good. Now let me try again. That's better. All right. All right, so let's go to the, we'll do it left to right, Ameren. So we talked about Ameren in the introduction, and Ameren, of course, has the VASCEPA, V-A-S-C-E-P-A, in case I'm saying it wrong. That's a fish oil drug, and its original indication is for hypertriglyceride, whatever. When you have extreme triglyceride counts, I don't know, 1,000 or more, whatever it is. I'm making that number up, at least I think I am. But they're looking to expand the indication to a more broad category, and the FDA is going to rule on that shortly, I guess. I'm not sure of the timeline, whether it's shortly or not, but you know, I should really be more well-versed to the fundamentals, but I've been looking at the chart mainly, And I see that even though things couldn't be worse in the short term, we gapped down on the news of the public offering, but was a private offering, whatever the offering was. But look at the 50-day, it's about to cross the 100-day, which is generally very bullish, generally with a lag. So on the negative side, we did cross the 200-day. So that's not good. But on the positive side, it looks like we're about to have a positive cross of the 50 and the 100. We'll see how this plays out. We're also very close to support here at 1701. Earlier support at 1768. No, 1764, I guess. This is a key low right here on 626, 1785. That would be the first support, 1785. So we want to see 1785 hold. We want to see this gap filled. That would bring us back to 2092. So we now have a target at 2092. Previously, the only gap we had was a negative one that was at 1986. Well, we filled that gap and a whole lot more, being at 1808. So now we have a upward gap, and the goal, my goal, is to buy a little more here, and whether I want to take profits in the 20s or be greedy, I think it's still a good time to buy, whether it's for short-term gain, a swing trade, or for a long-term hold. I think, just like George Budwell thinks, that Ameren is still in play as a buyout candidate. He thinks it would do better in a partnership arrangement, like with a Pfizer. Whichever way it works out, I think there are good things ahead. Ameren, I'm optimistic they get the broadening of the indication of Vasipa. Plus, Vasipa is selling extremely well. Do they have competition? Yes, the fish oil company that I sold is certainly competition. So I would be a buyer here, and that means I will be a buyer here. Probably come Monday, come tomorrow. A Casti Interactive. Another Dr. J Boo-Boo. Why do I have a 1-minute chart? Not interested. I'm interested in a daily chart, a weekly chart. The daily chart shows up and away, breakout. So we have basically a run, huge run over Friday and Thursday, all the way to a high of, where was that high? A high of $1.78, closing at $1.71. So there wasn't much of a give back. So it looks quite attractive here, considering there's no resistance in the near future that I can see unless I switch to the weekly. So let's look at the weekly. Where might it find resistance? Not up until the old high back here of 180. So it looks like a run to 180 is a test of the 180 level is quite likely. If it goes through that, the old high back here in 11/20, 2017 of 336 is in play. 336. So if it could take out 180, there's nothing but air standing in the way of 336. What about the moving averages? Well, we're already above the 200, which is above the 50. Where is the 100? Here's the 200. here's the 100, and here's the 50. So that it looks like the what's going on? It's a little confusing, these averages. This is a 100. This is the 200. Where is the 50? I'm getting to be colorblind. I don't see purple. Come on, eyes, come back to me. Anyway, the 200 is above the 100. Above it? It looks that way. I can't make this out for whatever reason, and this is on the weekly. Let's look at it on the dailies. Maybe we'll get a better idea of where the moving averages are. That's probably my problem. Okay, so on the daily, the 50s above the 100 is above the 200. Beautiful. And we just crossed, the 50 just crossed the 100. Beautiful. Portending a big move up, and sure enough, we got it. So this was a big signal back here on 7/16 when we were trading at $1.44. That was a nice signal of good things to come when the 50 crossed the 100. So very bullish on a Casti pharmaceutical. I'm hoping that it goes to 100, even if I never get back in, because I never look back and I only wish good things, especially for biotechnology stocks. CVM, Sell-Side Corporation. This is Jigglypuff's, these kind of negative on it. We have Buckhead Creek, who was very positive on. I don't see Buckhead on. Greg is on. You're not here in New York, Greg? Ah, where are you? Where are you, Greg? All right. Yankees are on fire, says Jiggly. Jiggly, I love the Yankees, but every time I want to watch the game, I tune in a little late, third, fourth inning. They're up 8-3, 9-0. I can't watch them. I'm sorry, I just can't watch them. I'd rather watch the struggling Mets, who, even if they have a 4-run lead, no lead is safe. It's a more interesting game. I guess when I was a kid and a diehard Yankee fan, I didn't mind 8-0 leads. I just wanted to see Mantle Maris hit those home runs. Okay, sell side up 28 cents on Friday to 6.57. Very nice move. I think we're consolidating off of this huge sell-off down to the 580 level. So we should break out of this triangle very quickly in middle of next week at the latest. Let's say 723, 724. And I think that should determine the next move. I want to take out this high of 708. If we do that, I think we could test the highs at 9. So 708 is a very key level. Jigglypuff, I'm not going to tell you what to do because you seem to have a strong opinion on CVM, but Dr. J will probably add more if it crosses that 708 level. Looking for 9, and just to do a swing trade for 2 points. I'll keep my core position right where it is. CGC, of course, a break to the downside would probably mean I should take my loss anywhere above below this low of 595. So half a point, not a half a point. If I'm getting in at 710 and I'm taking a loss at 595, I'm willing to gamble like a point or so to make 2 points, 2-to-1 shot. All right, CGC. I like 2-to-1 shots. I love 2-to-1 shots. That's my favorite odds on a swing trade, 2-to-1. Give me 2-to-1. Get enough of those. You get half of those right, you're doing good. All right, so CGC found support, hopefully, at this low on, when was that, Monday? 330, 338. Looks like it found support. Made a high on Wednesday of 36.74. And now it's looking to put in another low. Hopefully the low will be above the low on Monday. So we want a low above 33.38. So hopefully by Monday, maybe we're down on Monday, and then we start coming back, take this out. If we take out the Wednesday high, it looks very much like we'll be bumping into resistance at the 38.08 level, roughly, or maybe 38.11, 38.11. Well, let's just say 38. So if we take out 36.74, 38 would be the next resistance level that we got to manage to go through. But if we do that, then we're probably looking at some nice potential growth into the upper 30s, upper 40s rather. All right, so CGC, I still like CGC. I was upset by its chart. It caused me to sell some, just a few, on whatever this day is, 7-11, the day that it broke support, which is now resistance. So when it broke support, I did sell some. If it goes back to the low of the day here, I'm back in. So the low is 36.71. I sold, I think, in the 37s. So I would basically undo my sale if it shows a little life. Hopefully it will. Speaking of showing a little life, curlf shows a lot of life. This company, Curaleaf, announced a major takeover during the week. They're taking over a pretty large cannabis integrated play, making it an integrated play itself. Everything from production of the plant, of the marijuana plant, to the extraction of medical marijuana, CBDs, THCs, to selling it in dispensaries around the country. So they are going to be, with this acquisition, they are number one vertical play in the country, maybe the world, I don't know, something like that. They're big. They became big overnight. So yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot from a technical point of view. Now, what from a fundamental point of view? Now, we did cross negatively. We had a negative cross of the 50 and 100. And despite that, we had a nice move up. So it doesn't always bode, it doesn't always work. No, we had a negative cross, and yet it went up. So it doesn't always portend doom, as we see here. But very often, this would be a very bad omen. it would very often continue its slide down. And it may very well back down a little bit off of this high. I wouldn't be surprised if we came down to the middle of this big green candle. So that's exactly where I drew the line at about 725. So if I'm looking to add, which I am, I own a lot of this, but if I'm looking to add, I'll be adding at 7.25, 730, something like that. Probably not for a swing trade, probably just because I like it down the road. So I'm probably going to be accumulating and holding. More like JD from Dallas. Where's JD? JD, where are you? You're having your barbecue. You must be barbecuing already. I'm broadcasting at a bad time for JD. Okay. All right. So that's curlf. Dr. J, very bullish on curlf. Bullish on pot stocks, even though we've had a tough time the last few weeks. Dow Jones Industrial Average made another new high during the week. It made a higher low during the week, and I expect more of the same next week. So next week, look for higher highs and higher lows. So look to take out the all-time high at 27,398. Look for something like 28,000 maybe, and then a little pullback, and then we do it again. So I see higher highs and higher lows. I see a big run to 28,000, maybe 1,000-point run, but next week is being very possible. Don't count on the Fed doing a 0.5 point. If you've been reading, even though I think someone from the New York Fed, was it Williams, said that a 0.5 point cut by the Fed would be a preemptive strike and ensure that we stay out of a recession. But then it was interpreted by others like the St. Louis Fed chair, James, his name is escaping me, by others on the Fed, the St. Louis Fed chair, as being more of an academic thesis, not a statement about what the Fed is going to be likely to be doing. So the consensus view amongst economists now is that the Fed will do a 1/4 point at the end of the month, not a 0.5 point, which I agree with. I think you'll see a 1/4 point at the end of the month. And that will be bullish enough for the markets to continue to rally. So the Fed is on the market side. Expect this high to be taken out. 27.4 will go. You'll wind up above 28,000 this week or next. Then a pullback to a higher low and continuation. I see 30,000. It will take a lot to derail this market, although anything is possible, especially in the market. Bitcoin. This is the wildest, crazy chart I've ever seen. I mean, it went from something like under $100 to what? 16,000? No, highest 14,000. Still, was there a higher high? I think there might have been a higher high. Max. Let me just have fun for a second. Oh yeah, there was a higher high. The higher high was 20,000. So it ran from under 100 to 20,000. I mean, it's mind-boggling. This is going to Atlantic City and putting your money on the pass line if you're long, and putting your money on don't pass if you're short. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Let's look at the chart. Let's look at the daily. See what we can make out of the daily. Blow it up a little bit. All right. So we have this pullback to 900 that I spoke about from 1380 or something to 900. What was the low here? I mean 9,000. So from 13,000 to 9,000, quite a big pullback. Now we're trying to rally off of that. We've rallied above the 50-day, which is above the 100-day, which is above the 200-day. We're still in an extremely bullish formation, trading above the 50. I expect more of the same for next week, culminating with a move out of this triangle, wedge, whatever you want to call it, this rising wedge. I don't like rising wedges in a downward environment. To me, it could mean the inverse of consolidation, where we have an upward correction and then we come back down. But it doesn't have to go that way. The market will tell us when it comes up to about 11.5 or higher than that, maybe 12,000. It will either break out above or break out below, and then you know which direction, at least in the short term, Bitcoin is headed. I really don't want to make a strong prediction here, but I'm cautious of this kind of chart. Okay, let me stop screen sharing. Let me come back and bid you all a great week. Hope you have a better week of trading this week than Dr. J had last week, or that you had last week. Last week was not my best moment in terms of trading. Fortunately, I didn't make too many trades, so therefore I limited the number of bad trades I made. I think anything I would have touched last week would have been wrong. Sometimes you have weeks like that. I will be free to admit, the first to admit, I made quite a few mistakes. I added to my position in Athesis, ATHX, which I forgot to chart, I meant to. And that was another mistake. I added $1.45 and $1.55, and it's now, I think, $1.42. Not that that sounds that terrible, but I have so much of it. There was no reason to be a pig. This has been Dr. J reminding you to have a great trading week. To share the link, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. We're a small family, and we have 1,250 subscribed. Not looking to grow much more. We get 500 or so views a week on my weekly video. That's fine. I'm not looking to increase any of those numbers. I'm happy the way it is. But if you have a friend that you want to say, recommend this vlog to, by all means do so. I'm not putting ads on. I'm not looking to commercialize it. I'm not looking to make money. I'm just looking to make friends and get great ideas from you and share some of my ideas as well. So Jigglypuff, you haven't given me any great ideas lately. I expect a great idea from Jigglypuff to come in and as a comment. Right, Jiggly? I don't want to put you on the spot. All right, everyone. Shalom, au revoir, arrivederci, ciao. See you next week.